are back on with Real Talk with Reese. I'm so excited. Listen, we're doing something different today. I am at home chilling. It kind of feel good. No, but I'll be honest. I love the studio much more because I like all my vibes in the background and my set, But I'm doing something special because my guest is so awesome, so amazing, and she will be here in person, and you guys will get to see her in person in full blown. But until then, I was like, I cannot wait until she comes from Texas. She has to get here virtually, and I brought her on today because she is amazing. So, but before I get into that, y'all can just look at her beautiful face as I just cover some stuff. First of all, shout out to Milan. The experience like last week was so amazing. The event, her single release, Pussycat, was a hit. Everybody loved it. She's such a performer. That's the difference between like we're like, oh, she could sing, or this person can sing, he could sing. But there's a difference between singing and performing. And Milan is a performer. It was packed at Indigo Lux. We had all the vibes were there. I mean, she really, really, truly turned up. It was really, really nice. And then last night I had some fun. I went to shout out to Stacy BBW show, and she has her cannabis business, so she had a puff and paint last night. So I puffed and painted, and it was great. It was fun. I love anything right now. I'm all about the vibes. I told you guys, if it's not a vibe, I'm not even about to be a part of it right now. Like it's all about the energy for me, and the energy was so good last night. I had so much fun, and the crazy thing is, earlier that week, I was talking to my friend and I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone with him and I'm like, hey, listen. And we was just talking about The Simpsons and how The Simpsons know everything. Like you can find out anything that's gonna happen in the world on The Simpsons, everybody talks about that. And I was like, I'm a this week, you guys, this week it's so deep how things like this happen in my life. But I was talking about The Simpsons. Why? Where does that come from? Who really talks about a cartoon, right? I'm talking about it, and I was like, I'm gonna start watching it. I'm gonna go. I heard it's like 780 seasons. I said I'm gonna start at halfway point, and I'm gonna go all the way up to the last season. I'm gonna watch it every day so I can see what's going on in the future. So I was making a joke about it, and then I get to Stacy's event, and the picture that we're painting is Bart Simpson. I'm like, oh, what's going on with this Simpson energy? Weird, right? Not weird, but that's just how things align. But anyway, that was a fun thing. I had fun last night. So today we have my beautiful guest. Her name is Ariel, Doctor. And put some respect on it. Dr. Ariel Watkins. She is someone that I met doing something that I'm going to talk about today. Investing in myself. One of the things that I really, really am big on now, and I've been doing for a couple of years, but really, really paying attention to how I cycle money around and how you work on things that are aligned for you. And one of the big things is you have to invest in yourself. I tell people that all the time. They want to know how to elevate themselves in their careers. Well, you need to sit in those rooms with people that are doing what you're doing already, but probably doing it better than you're doing it, so you can like upgrade, learn, and just be in the rooms that will take you to where you want to go because you know what rooms those are in. And a lot of times you have to invest in that. So I did this. I did that. I did just that. I invested and went to the Les Brown and graduated from the legendary Speakers Academy, which is so awesome. And I met this amazing soul, and I met her like the first day of class, which was virtual, and it was just a whole story behind how we connected. I think, I mean, we probably can write a book about energy and connections just based off of our relationship, really. So I met her in that class. We bonded. It's just like some of those people that you meet and you're like, yeah, this person is somebody I think is gonna be in my life forever. Like this is gonna be like a good friend. This is somebody that I can absorb from. She often would tell me that I was somebody that she could kind of like look up to. She's a young, vibrant young lady, and but I look at her more like. I actually gained so much from this from her. It's crazy how much knowledge that I have gained, and that's when you know those connections are real. When you both are getting something from each other. The relationships in my life right now have to be intentional, meaningful, and they got to be about good, going somewhere in the direction that I'm going in. That's just what I'm about right now. And so, with all of that said, Dr. Ariel Watkins, what's up? Happy Saturday!
Happy Saturday, Tanya. How's everybody doing today? I'm very grateful to be here. Very,
Yes,
very grateful.
yes.
Yeah.
I'll
So we
talk.
did.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so we did meet in that Les Brown's legendary speaker. And what was weird is I think it was appointed for us to meet because I got into the program and instantly wanted an accountability partner. And I said to the guys in charge, I said, I want an accountability partner. And he said to me, okay, I have one for you that's going to be really amazing. You're going to love this person. He said, but I need to reach out and make sure that they also want to do this. And so the rest is history.
And you know, it's so funny. Speaking on that is another thing that I could tell people is that that's how we met because she wanted accountability. Now, I had just joined this. I only had a couple of conversations, and all of a sudden I get a phone call saying, "Hey, I got somebody that wants, accountability partner, mentor, whatever. Do you mind?" And I'm thinking, absolutely not. I don't want to. I want to go in this class. Just keeping it real on Real Talk with Reese. Nope. I took this class because I wanted to focus on me. That was my mindset. I get to be in this class where nobody knows me. I'm not sitting next to somebody because usually if I'm in the room, I know that people just kind of I gravitate towards me. So I'm like, nope. I'm going to just take this time to do it myself. But there was no way. I thought when he said that, I'm not about to tell Les Brown no. I'm not about to look like that. He might be sitting right there. Like, I'm not doing that. I don't want to look like that. And it was the best decision. I'm glad that you did that and the universe brought us together. So that's how I know how powerful you are. Seriously, you are that powerful that you made that connection. Because I would not be doing some of the things I'm doing right now had I not met you. And I'm
Yeah,
so grateful. So
yeah,
grateful.
definitely, definitely awesome. Um, So I know you were speaking earlier about investing in yourself, and I just want to kind of speak to that. Even that class that we were in, Les Brown, if there's somebody watching and there's someone you want to become or there's something you want to do, it's going to start typically with a decision to choose yourself. And Reese, you know what I mean? It doesn't always feel good. Whenever I signed up for Les Brown, I was in a position where I probably really shouldn't have been signing up. But I knew that if I wanted to get to speaker, author, that person, if I wanted to develop that, you have to plant a seed, guys. And most of the time, it's going to cost you something. It's not really about the money that it costs, it's having to give up that old mindset so that you can move forward. That's really what it costs you. It costs you your old self. It costs you your comfort zone. But I would have paid it a million times because out of it came this. I met Tanya, and Tanya, you guys have been watching the show for a while. Tanya's amazing. She's everything, guys. She is. She downplays it, but she really is.
So I appreciate that. So listen, I want people to know, okay, you are Dr. Ariel Watkins. What doctor what? What is your specialty? Can you tell us a little bit? Tell us who is Dr. Ariel Watkins?
Oh, wow. Okay. So, what's so cool is a year ago, I probably would have answered this question different. So, guys, I'm going to answer this from where I am right now in my evolution because we're always evolving. So, um, I woke up at the age of 15, and both of my pinkies were numb, and I thought I was dying. This was before WebMD, so it's not like I could get on the line and the internet and say, "Why are my fingers numb?" Because that didn't exist. Um, Then I started having this horrendous neck pain out of nowhere and face pain, almost to where it made my jaws not symmetrical. It was such a horrible thing. Um, Fast forward 15 years later. So it started at the age of 15. It wasn't until I was 30 that I got help. I was having this horrendous neck pain. It changed my personality. I was angry all the time. I was always
Mm.
in a downward state. Um, so little did I know that my nervous system. I was a very sick child. I did not even know. You know, I grew up in the walk it off generation. Like, you know, you're fine, just walk it off. You can't walk off numb fingers and radiculopathy in the neck. I'm using those big words now because I have them. At the time, I had no words to describe what was going on with me other than I didn't feel like myself and I was in pain for 15 years. So long story short, I became a chiropractor, guys, because chiropractic saved my life. So everything I've ever done, now that I look back, Reese, everything I've ever done has been about passion. It's always been about something that's changed me or helped me to evolve. So I became a doctor of chiropractic, guys, to help other people who were out there having those issues. Because people don't realize that your nervous system runs your entire life. It is the most powerful electric system on the planet, guys.
Mm.
And it's inside your body, from your brain down through your body and out to your periphery, your hands, your feet. It tells your heart how to beat. It tells you to move your hand off the stove because it's hot. So your nervous system runs your life. But now, Reese, what's happening is I started out just doing that, but now what it's evolved into is I'm learning that that same nervous system that was giving me the neck pain and the jaw pain and you know, the numb fingers, that same nervous system is where we store and house trauma,
Mm.
memories, okay? So your reactions to life and how you deal with things is also stored in that nervous system. So I feel like the next evolution of where I'm going to be is going to be helping people with that. I don't know what that's going to look like, but if I've learned anything, I'm trusting life that it's going to look just the way it needs to be. And the people that I need to help are going to appear just the way they should. Um, Meeting you, Tanya, is really one of the major things that's taught me that. Really taught me that.
Wow.
So, long story short, but I'm a doctor of chiropractic.
No, great. That was good. Wealth of knowledge. That's exactly why I wanted you on here. I said that she was one of the most interesting, intelligent people. And you are. I love it. I always learn something. That's deep. 15 years. Wow. You are a true survivor, but I don't even want to say survivor. You 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 weathered that and said you were angry. I bet you were. You wake up, you in pain. It took you 15 years to figure that out.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. And it's
Pain
all about
changes your
going to the right
personality.
place.
Yeah.
I bet. I bet.
Yeah. I was
Yes.
very, but what was weird is at the same time that this was going on, the world, my little world around me, guys, as a 15-year-old child was, it was falling apart, you know. My parents, who are actually still married, my parents have been married 40 plus years. At the time, you know, their relationship was on the rocks. And if there's any parents out there, if you and your spouse are going through something, your child is feeling every bit of that, even if they can't speak, even if they're young, because you know there's three parts to our brain. You know, chiropractic is really all about the nervous system and about the brain. And one of the major parts of our brain is our subconscious mind. The subconscious mind in your child has no defense against anything, any environment that they're in. It absorb. You know how people say kids absorb like a sponge?
Yeah.
It's because their subconscious mind is open. So a lot of what was going on with me, I also feel like I was absorbing a lot of the chaos and a lot of the drama that was going on at home. And I was very, very sick. But yeah, for 15 years, I mean, It was really horrible. Now that I look back, though, I went through it for a reason, and I'm so glad that I came out on the other side. You know, I
Yes,
am.
yes. Well, congratulations to you because you're one of the healthiest people I know now. I mean, you teaching me health tips. I'll call you for advice. So that is so great. And that is one of the things that the season that I'm in right now is understanding. I have a complete understanding, and I'm grateful for that. Finally, like connecting these dots, that everything is for your growth. Everything, whether it's something positive or perceived negative, and a lot of things that we think is negative can be, some of my most negative experience brought me the best joy once I came out on the other side. So I'm so grateful for those experiences. But this is what I am totally like into right now. And you said that you want to talk about who you are now. Now is the key word. Now going forward is the key word. And I want to get your take on that. I've actually been taking a class with a amazing woman, her Natalie Bouchard. I think her last name, if I'm saying that right.
Yep, you are.
And yeah, so who was shout out to Natalie. Super. Oh my gosh. I didn't think anybody could be more genuine than me. uh, but Natalie is so down to earth, so amazing. She has that just that personality you can connect with, and you know she's like giving it to you straight. I was raised by someone like that. You have to have like tough skin. My mother just will say, she just says exactly how she feels. And no sugarcoat. That's a lot. And I think like Natalie is the same way. Like um she says sometimes that she has that fuck yeah energy. Like just go for it, do it, feel good. And one of the things I'm learning in her class that I'm totally embracing now is like living in the now. It's about now. It's not about tomorrow, yesterday. It's like literally living in the now, feeling how you feel right now, what you're gonna do right now is what's important, and letting go of the stories. So that's something that I'm really, really, really embracing and getting into. How do you feel about what's going on? I saw you post it. So let me go back to this. I saw you posted a thing about um, some things that Trump is doing. And you said you were going to talk about that on your TikTok because now that you're the new, see, guys, to follow her on TikTok because she's like the new TikTok queen and star. And you were talking about I'm going to discuss this. What do you feel like with the energy that in the world right now? How does that affect you, or how does that make you feel as far as how you are trying to align yourself?
Um, okay. Right now, well, let me just say what I feel like the energy is right now in the world. Life is shifting. It is not the same world that I grew up and thought. It's not the same world that they prepared me for. I was born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s. This is not the world that they prepared me for. What's going on right now, I think, is that people are starting to realize their own personal power if they wake up. And then we have a set of people who haven't woken up and they don't even realize that they have any power or that they can even access that power. So those people are just sort of doing what they're told to do, kind of like sheep a bit. So I
Hmm.
think what's happening is we're having this separation almost of people who are just kind of going along with to get along, like sheep. And then you got people that are like, wait, I'm a creator. Wait, I'm in charge of me. Wait, what they lied to me. So going back to your question, I feel the energy right now is we're at a crossroads. I feel that energy. I'm no longer at the crossroad because I already took the path I was supposed to take, but there's a lot of people that's there,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes.
Um, that so I feel like we're in the best of times and we're also in the worst of times if you look at it the wrong way.
that's really important. Is how you look at it, because I had some people had made some comments and messaged me and messenger and talking about how are you so positive with everything going on, and I'm thinking, because that really has nothing to do with me. The way I look at what's happening in the world with the politics and all the things that are going on is, that's not my, I'm minding my own business. Meaning, I'm so focused right now on Tanya and what Tanya needs to do to function, that I'm just blocking the what's going on out there, because all of this needed to happen. I believe that it's happening because it needed to happen. It's opening up a lot of people's eyes. It's changing how people think, how they move, how they vote, how they look at view the world. But I'm not worried about Trump. I'm not worried about the price of eggs. What I'm more worried about is, which I'm not worried at all, I have moved into this energy where all I'm focusing on is, where is Tanya going? Am I living in my purpose? That's it. I'm totally in this zone. I am purpose driven like crazy. And a lot of that came from one of the most traumatic experiences that I had, was the loss of my son. Changed my whole world. And guess what? And people are going to think this is not real, but you will hear more of this. I'm grateful. I have actually, I'm grateful for, of course, I would love my son to still be here, but I'm grateful for what I am gaining from this experience, because I know that there's so much more for me to share with the world from this experience. And I think when people, if you could just sit down and look at your experiences and understand that every time it elevates you, and if it's not elevating you, you got to get up. You got to change that energy, because if you're not elevating from things that have held you back in life, then you definitely need to do some more internal soul searching, and read some books, y'all. We need to start reading. Speaking of books, what book are you reading right now?
Oh my gosh. What books am I reading? Okay, so I'm always reading a million books. Cute little story. When I was in third grade, I would carry around three different books. And my mom would say, "What is wrong with you? You cannot read three books at a time." And she got on to me and she said, she was telling me that I wasn't a very good decision maker, and just my childhood was something else, but I'm grateful for it. So mom, if you're watching, guess what? Now I not only still read three books at one time, I'm reading several books at one time. Let's talk about the books I'm reading. Okay.
Yes.
Before I say this, Tanya, I wanna hit on something that you just expressed. You talked about being grateful in the aftermath of something so traumatic as losing your son. A lot of people, that would have took them out. They would have been done. They would have died right there with him. And by died, I mean they would have not evolved any further as a person. But because your perspective is what it is, that is why you're continuing to evolve as a person. I'm so excited for you. I just wanted to say that. That's part of
Mm.
the energy that I feel is happening on the planet. If people could realize the price of eggs is a mere distraction. Thank God I don't even eat eggs anymore. So I really don't care about the price of eggs because I don't eat eggs. The price of eggs, guys, what they're saying on the news, Mike Tyson fighting Jake Paul. Who cares? Everything is a distraction to keep you from locking into you guys. You are the real power. So the books I'm reading, the one of the books I'm reading, it's by an author called Ernest Holmes. Guys, I do not read fiction. I don't even waste my time reading fiction. It's called This Thing Called You. This book revolutionized the way I see myself. And as you can see, it's beat up. I've got lots of notes and highlighting. Because, guys, I never read a book once. I'm always reading my books twice. I'm also reading Be Your Future Self Now, guys. This book highlights seven main things that stop us from stepping into who we are. One of them being being caught up in lower densities, like worrying about the price of eggs. I know that sounds silly, but that can keep you from going where you need to go. My favorite right now, this is my nighttime read that I'm actually reading in my relationship. It is called The Mastery of Love, guys, by Don Miguel Ruiz. It talks all about love and what real love is and how to accept the person as they are or let them go. I do have one more book that I'm reading. Actually,
Bring
two
it
more.
on. I'm gonna make sure that I post all of these books, guys, so you can
The
get them.
next book I'm reading, guys, is The Secret of the Ages, guys. This talks about every one of us have this has this mechanism of a magic genie in our mind, guys. Okay? So you don't just get 3 wishes, you get unlimited wishes. But this talks about the mindset that it takes to live that way, guys. Guys, we are living in a delicious, magical, wonderful time. So that's Secret of the Ages by Robert Collier. Last book I'm reading, and I've been reading this book, guys, since 2021. It's by Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's also a
Oh, I love him.
chiropractor. And I'm reading his book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself: How to Lose Your Mind and Create a New One. So everything I read is going to be about further expansion. I don't have any Danielle Steele romance novels because I don't
It's
read stuff
it's
like that.
it's so funny you say that because I grew up with my mother reading all the time. She used to read, and I was like, who would want to do that? I don't want to read. I didn't grow up. I like to write. I wrote plays. I wrote things growing up as a child. I was write poetry, but I didn't read a book. Like I didn't want to read a book, right? And
Yeah,
then all of a sudden, when I got in college, I started reading books, but I was reading like the Danielle Steels, the Zanes, the uh, uh, Terry McMillans, and I would just get caught up into it because I'm a creative writer, so I like the idea of like writing stories and things like that. And now, when I tell you every book that I have is a spiritual growth book, something that's teaching me knowledge or wisdom. The same books, the same type of books you read. I think we share books with each other. The Secret, the Four Agreements. The like. I don't have any kind of fiction. Now I am gonna. I have a TV series that I'm going to be producing. So I still like that type of stuff, but everything now, the books that I'm reading and the spiritual is going to help when I do finish and create my TV series. It's going to have that type of knowledge and background in the series. Like I'm all about love. I definitely have a lot of sensual energy. So anything I do is going to be sensual, about love and knowledge. Like those things make me move, make me happy. What are some of your core characteristics, like as far as not core characteristics, let me say the word right. What are some of your core values? Like
oh
I can
man.
give you I'll give you mine, and then you'll know what I mean. So I just wrote this out, and it made me really realize who I was. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So my four are what's important to me in life that make up who Tanya is and the character, how I move, what I do is happiness is my number one. Happiness over everything. Period. Prosperity is my number two. These aren't in order. Let me make sure this is not order. These are just all my four. Number two would be prosperity. Three is a soulmate connection. I think that is really important to um because I think when you have a soulmate connection, it is the most amazing feeling ever. And I think everybody
Yes.
deserves that. And why? Because I'm all about love. So, hopeless romantic over here. And then health. Health is so important. And I'm truly living and embracing that now. Going through what I went through made me realize your mind totally affects your health. Your
Yeah.
mental is you better take care of that mental, and everything else will fall into place because my mental state of being so traumatized, it immediately affected my whole body, my how I was feeling. So it is very important to me to have happiness, prosperity, soulmate connection, and health. What are four of yours? If you don't mind sharing
Wow,
that.
those are really, really good. I'd have to say one of my first ones is self love. Um, Self love is not something that I ever had growing up as a child. I didn't learn to love myself until I was almost 40 years old. On one hand, you could be sad about that, but on the other hand, not so much because I've had almost 40 years to understand how much a human being needs to love themselves. To me, the number one core value I have is self love. I feel like all things flow out of that once you love yourself. Um, the second thing I would have to say, after self love, I would have to say abundance. I actually on TikTok I am at abundant Ariel if anybody's looking for me, and my
Yes.
screen name is There She Flows. So abundance, because I began not too long ago doing a 21-day abundance meditation. Guys, we're surrounded by abundance. I don't care if eggs are $27 next week. If you really tap in to who you really are and how we're really living, you will start to see all the abundance that is surrounding you. And I think a lot of times people think of abundance just as money, but that's not what it is all the time. Abundance is a money is a form is one way that abundance can express itself, but I think about the connection I have with Tanya, the fact that I came into a speaking class and I gained a whole person that's bringing beauty into my life. That's abundance, guys. Abundance is also being able to get what you need when you need it. That's abundance. And I think a lot of people may or may not know that. The next one I would have to say is high quality food. I really value high quality food. You know, I spent 2024 eating organically for the first time on purpose. I stopped eating a lot of the processed food. Um, One of the things that was really big for me was Dr. Pepper. And I allowed myself to be guided last year and kind of flow with life.
Mhm.
Um, and I was guided to stop eating and drinking a lot of things, guys. It resulted in a 36-pound weight loss. And above the weight loss, yeah, yeah. You know, I'm actually, Tanya, I'm working on a course right now. And the course is designed for people who have lost weight, and it's all about helping them keep it off. But it's
Ooh.
not what you think it is. It's actually not about the food they're going to be eating. I'm going to be talking more about them. The weight that they're carrying is actually weight. So, adipose tissue in the body, you know, excess unsightly fat, sometimes it's around the belly, the hips, the thighs, the backs of the arms, that holds toxins, right? That's how
Mm.
our body stores what it does not need. Okay. So the course is going to go into all that. I'm really excited about it. So I would say, have to say, my last value that I would give somebody would be a sense of adventure. It is so important to have a sense of adventure. You know, I grew up in a one red light town where everybody did the same thing all the time. I'm doing it this way because my parents did it this way. My parents did it this way because their parents did it this way. And I was someone from day one who dared to color outside of the lines, you know?
Yeah.
So I read a statistic, Tanya, that most people grow up, they're born, they grow up, and they never live any farther than about 40 miles from where they were born. And I'm in a whole
Yeah.
nother state. Guys, you're gonna find yourself when you step out of the image that everybody else has given you about yourself. You're not the person that you were when you were growing up. This
Yes.
is your life. Who do you want to be? So that's one of my core values. Those are my four core, I would have to say, Tanya.
Really good. That is so true. I am all about, and I'm grateful. That's why a lot of, you know, I love hearing your story and knowing that, like you said, you were from like a city with one stoplight, and I just know a lot of the things that you shared with me. Um, and it's funny because we had two totally different backgrounds and ended up in the same place, which is proof that it's all about your alignment and how you move. A lot of people get caught up in, oh, well, I didn't have that because I didn't, I was raised this way and that's why I'm stuck. And you don't have to be if you listen to your inner self. Listen to that voice on the inside and how you feel, because how you feel is what matters. Um, when you wake up in the morning, this is one thing that I'm all about now. When I wake up in the morning, if I don't feel good, if I don't feel the right energy, I'm immediately gonna meditate and find a way to get in a better place. Like, it's all about how you start your day, how you move, the things that you do, how you feel. And then if you're doing something that doesn't feel good, stop. Like, just stop doing it. If it doesn't feel good, it's not for you. You need to just stop, breathe through it. Um, because that's so important. I'm totally all about win in the morning right now. And one of the things I'm gonna do is you should show me something, because I would read a book and then I'll stop and be like, oh, I'll pick up another book and put that one down and go, no, you didn't finish the other book. Don't start on that. Now I feel good about, I'm gonna just read a little bit here and there if that's what I'm pulled to do. You just because you read 13 books right now, right?
Yeah, face something like that. You know what? When I wake up in the morning, a lot of the times, one of the practices that I've incorporated in my morning, guys, the morning is so important for me. It's so vital. I won't try to put it on somebody else. Maybe it's your nighttime. For me, it's the morning. The first thing I do is I sit in silence for about 10 minutes. There's so many answers in silence. Silence is everything but silent. So I'll sit there, and then a lot of times I'm guided. Sometimes books will fall off my shelf. Sometimes I'll be getting ready to walk out the door and I'll look back, before you leave home, you check around and I'll just see that book sitting there and it's like, okay, take that book with you. And I'll take it with me, guys. And I end up getting answers to questions in my heart from the book. So I guess what I'm trying to say, Tanya, and maybe we're dancing around this, but I'm going to touch on this if it's okay. Um, there is that inner guide there for you if you are willing to tune into it. Life is always saying, hey, look over here. Hey, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, accomplish, become, like life wants that for you as well. So it's pulling you in that direction, but you have to be quiet long enough and I believe that's one of the reasons that I gave up a lot of the processed food. um, because we're always having these urges. Oh, I want a bag of chips, now I want pizza, okay, I want to go out for drinks, I want this, I want that. A lot of times it's our rambling thoughts, our mind, which you are not your thoughts, by the way. And so when I was able to turn that down, I got quiet enough to be able to hear, hey, take that book with you today. Hey, reread that. Hey, call so and so. Hey, don't go left, go right. Guys, that inner guidance is so beautiful, but I know it's in all of us. It's in all of us. So that's
It's
how my mornings go.
Yeah. It's definitely in all of us. And one of the things in a class that I'm in, and we talked about this, and it was um, Natalie that I was talking about said, if you don't wake up excited to do something, you're not following your light. And that is something I actually wrote out, and I have that in like on my desk, because that's that. If you don't wake up excited to do something, you're not following your purpose. The whole reason why I became a purpose coach is because when I realized living in my purpose and working on my purpose, I found my true self, my happiness, and things started coming to me that it just started opening up doors. I'm like, oh, I should be walking in that door. Also, when you're living in your purpose, you don't allow the BS to come into your life, because this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm accepting. This is how I feel. That does not fit into my purpose. sorry, it's just not you. You walk different, you talk different, you move different when you're literally, and it's a light. Your purpose is your light. So if your light is not shining, then you need to go sit down and, like you said, sit down and listen. Get quiet. I like that how you said sit there quietly, which is a form of meditating. Just being quiet. Don't do anything for a few minutes. Now, if you're like me, who self-diagnosed herself ADD, uh, and I think I was just born that way. Virgo energy. It's just I've always had 1,000 creative ideas, 1,000 things like going through my head. And people often say, well, I can't meditate. I can't meditate because I'm thinking too much. It's practice, guys. Just as because I get this all the time, this question. You just make it sound like it's easy to meditate. I didn't say it's easy, but it's just like anything. It's just riding a bike or learning something new. You have to practice. You have to literally sit there. If you keep sitting there and just breathing and taking time to just be quiet, eventually you'll get, the first um, time you do it, you might only make it 30 seconds. The next time you do it, you might make it 60 seconds. But just keep doing it and quieting because you will gain so much, like you said, from the quiet. Because one
Yes.
thing we do, I think what people forget, they think like prayer. We take prayer as an example. We're all in prayer, you're talking to God or your God or whatever you use as your higher spiritual system. But prayer is not just talking. Prayer is also being quiet and listening. The biggest thing you're gonna get from prayer is listening. It's the quiet and the noise. I think a lot of people they just pray, pray, pray. God, give me this. I need this. I want this. Can you fix this? I need some money. I need some clothes. Oh my gosh, bring me a man. Bring me a, we do so much talking. And he's like, I'm trying to get this information to you. If you just be quiet for a second, I can give it to you. So that was
You
really
know,
good.
you know, Tanya, I think a lot of that, God bless us all, a lot of that comes from a lot of us were brought up and taught prayer in the wrong way. Think about it. If
Hmm.
you're standing before the creator of the universe, heaven and earth, what would make you think that you needed to be talking? Like, what could you possibly
Oh,
tell them?
that's good. I like that.
Who are you to be talking? You know, and back to the meditation thing, guys. You got to learn how to give yourself grace. Giving myself grace is has been a journey, and it's something that I learned from a dear friend of mine. He taught me how to give myself grace, and I used to buck against it so hard. When he would say, "Give yourself grace," I'd be like, eh. Giving yourself grace, guys. Realize we live in a world where things are always going and going and going. To sit still in the middle of that is not some easy task. First of all, be grateful and be aware that you have the awareness to sit there and do it. Just be excited about that. I'm telling you, just be excited about what is happening, and it just
Mhm.
grows and grows and becomes more. I worked my way up to sitting quietly for 10 minutes. My goal is 30 minutes. I'm not there yet, but I'm giving myself grace.
Yes. That's a good point. You do have to. It took me a while. I'm still working on it. I would set timers and everything, and I started. See, I don't know. Some of my friends are like, "You're such an overachiever." I don't think I'm an overachiever. I just like to challenge myself. But and so even with meditation, here I go. I always like I just go for big all the time, right? So started meditating, and immediately I'm going in for the 30 minutes because that's what I was when reading or somebody told me whenever I started that years ago. And I'm like, I kept feeling like a failure because I could not do the 30 minutes. And so I'm glad you said give yourself grace. And then I said, you know what? I'm gonna take it down to 15 minutes. And then I realized you know what I did? I went down to 3 minutes. I said, you gotta start. And then I started, that didn't even work. I had to go start with 1 minute. Then I got the 1 minute, and then I was like, okay, push myself to 2 minutes, and then 3 minutes. And I really did because I had to. I would be laying there going, stop thinking, stop thinking. I'm like, stop saying, stop thinking, because you still like, you know what I mean? Just so it's all about how you get into it. But the beauty of it all is that that you put the effort. The effort is just as good as the outcome. Like, just
Hmm.
do it and
Yeah.
begin to do it, and the universe will bring you more calm and pieces in there, because it's just important. And one of the things I think too, we talk about going through trauma and how it teaches us. One of the things I've really learned from the passing of my son is, and it's, I think we say things like, "Oh, I'm so grateful for waking up this morning." I think that becomes cliche and people just say it. I am. It's a privilege now. When I wake up in the morning, I move different now, and I'm really gonna shout to the from the mountaintop to get other people. This is really gonna be something. I'm working on a big, extremely huge, beautiful, dynamic project that I know is gonna change the world. Um, and one of the main things from that is understanding that when you wake up, life is a privilege. It is a privilege. When you wake, just the fact that you woke up. If you don't wake up and feel like, I feel like it's a privilege that I'm still here and I have the ability to do something that I want to do and something that I have a desire to do. It Life has to feel like it's a privilege to you. If you're not feeling that it's a privilege, you're probably not gonna move in your light.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, that's so true. You know, it took me years to let go of regrets. You know, guys, there's always something that we can regret. Oh, I wish I'd have taken that opportunity 3 years ago. Why didn't I marry that guy? Why did I eat that? Why did I eat that? You know, there's always something. But once I was able to separate who I am from the actions that I was taking, because we live in a world where people start to feel that what they're doing is who they are. Who you are is so expansive and ever changing and far beyond what you're doing. Um, so waking up every day and being grateful to be alive, it's because it's a fresh start. What direction should you go in yesterday? And it doesn't always have to be what direction should you go in today. It's not tied to yesterday, you know? It's not always tied to yesterday. You know, because a lot there's probably mothers out there right now telling you they have lost their son, and they're like, how is she able to say that? How is she so strong? It's because you're connected to a deeper part of yourself, and you realize that, guys, life is literally happening for us. I know
Yes.
that doesn't make sense because your precious son and his life, you know. But who are we to say we don't know what happens after you leave? All we know is he left the earth. Maybe he had an assignment somewhere else. Maybe he graduated here. Maybe his purpose was done here. We don't know that. I don't know that, but no, I would say the strength of who you are definitely speaks of volumes to me. I'm like, wow, my friend's amazing. She lost her son and she's here encouraging me. You know, she's you're still going. You're climbing higher. You're expanding more. And so I think that's why you're able to feel that gratitude when you wake up, because you see a larger vision for yourself. Vision is everything. There's people who wake up and they can't see past the end of their nose. And then not let's not talk about the food that they're feeding people that is literally killing off who you are and keeping people caught up in these loops, you know, the hot Cheetos, the this with the cheese pull, the dairy products, you know, it's really not a good thing.
What are some, if you're trying to start, since we're talking about that, and I think it's so important, what are some healthy eating tips, like for a person that says, you know what, I want to make a lifestyle change? Because I know that yours was kind of like a spiritual change, how you
Mhm.
did it. But someone that says, I want to start off and I want to get rid of processed foods and I want to change how I'm eating to feel better on the inside for my mental. What What's the first step? What would you suggest? How would you go there? Because that's pretty
Okay.
hard to change the eating habit.
So I'm gonna say, somebody, I hope everybody understands this because now that I've lived it, I understand it. So it's actually not gonna start with changing what you're eating. First of all, for a person to have the awareness that, hey, I want to feel better, they had to start somewhere different. So the first thing I think is taking a look. It's for me, it started with mirror time. Guys, I spent so much time standing in front of my mirror, looking into my left eye, looking into my right eye, looking at my face, looking at my hair, which this isn't my hair, um
It is today. It's
but
today.
that's right, girl. I bought it, it's mine. Um Looking at yourself, guys, on a deeper level than you ever had. That's where you need to start. Because once you do that, it's sort of like this. You let's say you have a locked box and you know that there's $1 million in that box. You could try to claw that box open, you could hit it with a hammer, you could throw it up against the wall. But what if you had the key to unlock the box? The goal is to get the key. If you have the key to unlock the box, you're gonna naturally everything in the box will be yours. So, and that's what I'm gonna be talking about in my course. I thought that too. It doesn't start with, oh, I'm gonna stop drinking Dr. Pepper, because that is putting a chain on yourself. That's not giving yourself grace. That's looking at yourself and saying, you know what? You're drinking Dr. Pepper, you're bad. How many of us have ever grown and become anything greater by beating ourselves up? That's the wrong place to start. So what I think people need to do is, instead of trying so hard to, if they offer you the hammer or the key, which one would you take? Yeah, you can beat the box with the hammer, but if you just had the key, wouldn't that be easier to get into the box? So I think it starts with mirror time, looking at yourself and taking inventory of all that you are, all the perspectives that you have about yourself, and really be honest with yourself. How do I see myself? Because all the actions, i.e., the food you're eating, is flowing from the way you see yourself. So I think you got to start at the beginning. I don't know if that's the answer people want to hear, but it's the truth.
Well, some people are, but they're gonna be like, so I'm gonna stare in the mirror and I'm gonna lose 5 pounds. No, I'm just kidding.
No, literally, you will.
No, you will.
You
I
lose
feel what
more
you're
than five
saying.
pounds.
So look at yourself and figure out what is making you want to do the things that you're doing. So start working on your mental as well as, so we know that's not super easy to do if you but it's a step. Step one, guys, look at yourself. But also I would say to take one thing out that, so if you are doing 5 bad habits, maybe start with trying to eliminate one as you are looking in the mirror and just keep moving towards that. But you're right.
Well, the
You're right.
beautiful thing, Tanya, is now, guys, I'm not telling you something I read in a book. I'm not telling you something that somebody told me. I'm telling you what I walked through last year and the way the path unfolded. Now, am I saying your path is going to be exactly the same? No. But what I'm trying to highlight here is, guys, you can get on Google right now and say how to lose 30 pounds. There's no shortage of people out there telling you what to eat. But I'm telling you, it's not what you're eating, it's what's eating you. That's what I'm talking about. Forget the habits. Forget the Dr. Pepper. Matter of fact, in the beginning, I kept eating and drinking what I was doing. But what's going to start to happen slowly as you look in that mirror and as you see who you are, someone new is going to emerge. And then out of a love for what you see in that mirror, you don't want Dr. Pepper anymore. I'm telling you, we cannot start with the physical thing of the Dr. Pepper. You have to start with the intangible, which is the way you see yourself. And I personally, which is why I'm coming out with my course, I think the world mostly has it backwards. Has it worked? Has it worked? Everybody's on a diet, everybody's taking Ozempic. It
You're
doesn't
right.
work.
It's internal.
It
I'm
is.
a prime example of that right now. Like honestly, literally, Who gains? You know, I was on my whole weight loss thing. I was, man, I was on it. I was, and I because I was so happy. I was happy to. I was like, oh, my birthday coming up and my 50th is coming up and I want to, swing from the chandelier. And literally, that's what I wanted to do. So I was like, so if you want to do that, you got to just take it down a little bit. So I was like in this happy place in my life. I was so happy. I was just, weight was falling off. I was looking good. I was feeling good. I was excited about working out because actually exercise feels good to me mentally. It's mental for me. So taking
Yes.
a walk and doing that. And then boom, Jalen passed away, and just like that, I gained 50 pounds in
Mhm.
7 months. That's that was all mental. That was all mental because I was kicking it. I'm traveling. Everybody like, where you going this week? Where you going that week? I wasn't gaining weight because I was living my life. I was actually losing weight while I was having fun. I gained the weight because I mentally shut down. The sadness, the depression, the anger, it took over my body. I don't believe that I ate 50 pounds. I believe I just like my mental swole me up. Like everything inside, like my body was breaking down. Everything. You're right. It is mental. Cause that just like that, that's not even normal. Even when I went to the doctor, she was looking at me like, how? The great part about it, though, fun fact, is through all of that, I'm still amazing. I did not have high blood pressure. I didn't have any like cholesterol, diabetes. I didn't have any of that. That was all mental. So thank God I have naturally been like the thicker person in my family, but I'm probably the only person in the family. I literally mean this too. Um, that does not have anything. Everybody in my family on either side has some kind of something, diabetes, high blood pressure, some kind of something. Female issues, most of them have had hysterectomies. When I say, and I give this testimonial to the way I was raised, I believe that I stay healthy no matter even being one of the bigger people in my family where people associate that to not being healthy, which I was totally healthy, is that internally I was healthy. I was happy. I always saw the glass half full. I always like wanted to help people. I was always silly. I was the class clown. I was always laughing. My mother always used to tell me all the time, you are I wake up and she'd be like, you are beautiful. And I used to be looking like, what? like, um, so I think that my internal happiness is why I'm still healthy. That's important.
Oh, Tanya, absolutely. You said other earlier that one of your core values was happiness. And when you said that, I'm like, absolutely. Because I know just when I met you, um, I felt that. I couldn't articulate it at the time, but absolutely, a lot of people, they read the Bible. I know the Bible says that happiness does good like a medicine. So,
Mhm.
happiness being one of your core values, it absolutely makes sense. And I don't want anybody to be confused about anything. So, I want to touch on something you said earlier because I think you were looking for me to give more like a tip, like what's one of the things
I I liked your tip.
did you? Did you?
Oh my gosh,
But
yes, it was very real.
I just want to share with people that as you it's 2025, guys, and the consciousness of the planet is rising, and people who are awake and they know that the change is happening, we know that you can't play around anymore. You got to really look at a thing for what it is. Okay, I can say all day long that I don't know. Okay, for instance, I'm wearing this, right? I want to change my look. But my real hair, which by the way is almost 20 inches long, if I really want a real change, I'm gonna have to change that because I'm only this when I put it on. We're living in a time where people are tired of putting things on, guys. putting on a false persona or continuing to wear someone that you're not. Because caught up in that false persona, caught up in being that person that you're not, that's where all those habits are coming from. The person I am now who truly loves themselves, um, Dr. Pepper still tastes good. But guys, there was a time in my life where I would wake up in the morning, Tanya, I would go and get 45 ounces of Dr. Pepper every morning
Wow.
with a gas store hot dog and wasn't even hungry.
Okay.
Girl, listen, you just don't
Not the
know.
gas station. I don't even see that.
That's one of the
Uh,
best hot dogs in the world, by the way. But I would go into the 7-Eleven or the Circle K, and I would grab just out of habit because I was being who I was already. I wasn't examining. I wasn't saying, okay, you where are you in life? When you stop and look in that mirror, you're gonna have to say, okay, this is who I was 10 years ago, but who am I now? Who I am now, 45 ounces of Dr. Pepper doesn't match that person. This person doesn't want that.
mm,
So that's why I say start with looking at yourself versus starting with trying to change a habit. Trying to go matter to matter is really hard, guys. This book, I learned it from this book, Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's also a chiropractor. So when you see a chiropractor, they're not just popping your neck and popping your back. No, we are literally working with the most powerful energetic system on the planet, your nervous system. Just like it takes 21 days to make a habit, that's why you go so often for that adjustment. We are literally changing your nervous system, guys.
I,
Maybe
I,
somebody needs to go get adjusted today, you know?
so can we talk a little bit more about that? Because I
Sure.
don't think I've ever associated chiropractor with the nervous system. I just thought, oh, my back, I need to be pulled and stretched out and popped back in place. That's pretty, I think I might need to try a different. I've only been like once or maybe twice, I think. Maybe. I need to, well, I'll just come down there and you can take care of me. But
I got you. Well, let me tell you this. A lot of people that are chiropractors, because I went to school with them and I know a lot of them, they have a power that they're denying the fullness of because they don't have an awareness of who they are. Now, I got into chiropractic because I had pain for 15 years with ridiculous symptoms into my fingers, my face, my jaws. It changed my whole personality. I was depressed, I was this, I was that. So I understood when I got my first adjustment at 30, I screamed and I started laughing. Guys, it changed my whole persona. I drove an hour to see that guy and an hour home 3 times a week. And I would do it again today if I had to because it changed my life. It's so much more on a low on a I guess on a basic stance. Yeah, you hear the pop and you hear the crack and you know you feel better. But what's happening, guys? We're restoring motion to your segments, guys, right? We're giving you the ability to move. Not we, the power working through us is giving you the ability to move better. It's changing more than, oh, my shoulder was hurt and now it doesn't. It's deeper than that. But if the person working on you doesn't understand what they have in their hands, how could they convey that to you? Not all chiropractors are
mm,
created equal. I'll just say that.
that's a good point. I think that's what I needed to know. I need to just try someone different. Yeah.
I got you,
Yes.
Reese. I got my table whenever I visit.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
Full body
seeing you
adjustment.
soon.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm excited about that. All right, so
Aw.
yeah, because we're gonna have fun. One thing we're gonna do is have fun together. Um,
And I learned that from you. Your energy is so fun. Because I grew up not having fun. I grew up where everything had to be hard and a struggle and oh my God, I can't smile too much. I'm not allowed to have fun. And when I met you, fun. I was awakened to this world of fun. So thank you for bringing that into my life. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, anytime. You already know we're gonna have a story. I believe in experiences. I believe having fun and having an experience is just life. Like
Yeah,
everything should be an experience. It should be an experience. What are you experiencing today?
that's
I
right.
kind of look at that in my life. What am I going to
Yeah.
experience? Um, and so, speaking of that, before we wrap up, first of all, I have to say my guests are loving you. I've got the comments.
Really?
Yeah, they really, really love you. You're natural. We're gonna talk about that later. Because listen, this was you're natural. This is all about you. That's why you're blowing up on TikTok. So you guys follow her on TikTok. Say your name again on TikTok.
He said Dr. Watkins and a Dr. Pepper singing in the tree. Oh, thank you. Oh, I should maybe tell them how to find me on TikTok, huh?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I do a couple things on TikTok. I'm coming up with a course. I got into digital marketing because the course is going to be all digital. You'll be able to download it, log into it. But if you get on TikTok, guys, my handle is at Abundant Ariel. I don't know if I can write that down or type it, or I need to get me a little page with my handles on. I'm gonna write it down. I don't know if they're gonna be able to see this.
I'm gonna put it. I'll post it.
You're gonna post it? Okay. So
Yeah.
it's at Abundant Ariel, and my screen name is There She Flows. There
There
She
she flows.
Flows.
I love that. There she flows.
Yes. And guys,
That
I go live
flows.
every day. I go live every day.
Yes, that's awesome. Awesome. The world needs you. You are amazing. I'm blessed to have you in my life. I'm glad that and you are one of so this is the point that I had in my head, but I didn't want to interrupt you. I've been talking about more and more, and I know you see it in my listeners, that the people, and I said it in the beginning of the show, that are around you. Thank you for putting that up, James. The people that are around you matter. You've got this is a time where you cannot have a bunch of mess around you. Listen to your friends that have toxicity. Um, and you could be there for your friends. You could be there. You could be there, sometimes, but it shouldn't be all the time. Who's around you matters. The reason why I'm saying that is you being around me. Where I need you, I'm aligned with you right now because honestly, I need you I need you in my life because of where I'm going, what I'm going through. And I'm blessed because you're my friend. I could pick up the phone and call my doctor friend and say, hey, what's going on? I need some help. If you need some positive vibes, you can call me and I can give you that. Like, pay attention to who you are aligning yourself with. In this day and age, the world is changing. And that's why right now we need to pay attention to the flow of things and the flow of life and the flow of your life, how you're feeling, what you're doing. It matters. It matters how you feel every day. It matters. Um, the way you heal is because you're releasing the things that are holding you back, that are not allowing you to shine. That's freedom. Freedom is releasing the crud. We just learned that, right? Freedom is releasing the
Absolutely.
crud that's blocking your shine. So if you want to be
Yes.
free, if you want to feel good, to everyone out there, you have to release the mess. Release it, leave it there once you release it, and stop talking about it. Don't talk about it every day. You don't have to tell everybody where you came from. Tell them where you're going. Tell them where you
That's
are right
right.
now. That's what is important. So if I don't leave you guys with anything else, um, uh, get up every day and live life like it's a privilege. It is a privilege
Yes.
to still have the opportunity to be your best self. And get up in that mirror. I'm about to go stand in the mirror right now for a couple of hours, and I think I'll slim down. Like I think I'll let you know what I lost by the end of the night because I'm gonna just stand there until it all melts off of me. Um, but I appreciate you so much with being on here. Shout out to UGD, to radio show, man. James is awesome. We got some big things coming up. We're gonna have a UGD happy hour where the radio host and our CEO, boss man James, we're all gonna get together and we're gonna do one in Akron. We're gonna do it in Cleveland. And guess what? Might be a city near you. Maybe we need to come down there and do happy hour down in Texas since we will be traveling together. But we're going to start here, Cleveland and Akron, just to come out, let people socialize, meet the different radio hosts, and just mix and mingle with and network with our audience and people out here that are doing big things like you. So I appreciate everybody tuning in to Real Talk with Reese. And make sure you follow Dr. Ariel Watkins. Check her out on TikTok, Abundant Ariel, and she's at There She Flows. Because go flow with her knowledge and her blessings that she's going to be giving you. And I want to say right now in advance, congratulations on your new book. Congratulations on your new project. And
Thank
I want
you.
mine's autograph and I want to be the first one to get it. I'm getting 2 or 3 copies because I want to give some people in my
Absolutely.
some of my audience members, I want to gift them with your new book because I know it's going to change the world.
Thank you.
All
Thank you
right,
for having me
guys.
here today.
Yes, it was my pleasure. Can't wait for. We'll talk later. Anyway, love you. Mwah, mwah. Real talk with Reese. See you next week, baby.